The forest was quiet that evening, save for the distant hum of Earth's newly installed orbital defense grid. Emily Cross had always found peace among the towering pines, away from the bustling human colonies that had sprouted across the planet since first contact. At 17, she'd seen humanity transform, from a curious species to a recognized, if underestimated, member of the Galactic Council, but nothing could have prepared her for what she found that night. The crash site was small, almost insignificant. Scorched earth and twisted metal that glowed with an eerie bioluminescence marked where something had torn through the atmosphere. Emily approached cautiously, her hand instinctively reaching for the emergency beacon on her belt. The wreckage bore no markings she recognized, not Valonian, not Kreth, not even the geometric patterns of the architects. Then she heard it. A sound somewhere between a whimper and a musical note, haunting and beautiful. Behind a collapsed panel of what might have been a stasis pod, Emily found him. The creature was no larger than a house cat, with scales that shimmered like liquid starlight, fading from deep violet to pale silver. Membranous wings, torn and bleeding in iridescent fluid, lay crumpled against its serpentine body, but it was the eyes that stopped Emily's breath. Ancient, intelligent eyes that held galaxies within them, now dimming with approaching death. "Hey there," Emily whispered, kneeling slowly. "It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you." The Dragonling, for that was the only word Emily's mind could conjure, tried to lift its head. A ridge of crystalline horns caught the moonlight, and Emily noticed the intricate patterns etched into each scale, like circuitry or perhaps ancient runes. This was no simple animal. This was someone. Emily didn't hesitate. She'd always been the girl who brought home injured birds, who nursed wounded rabbits back to health despite her mother's protests. But as her hands moved to gently scoop up the creature, it recoiled, a weak rumble emanating from its throat. "I know," Emily said softly. "I know you don't know me. But you're dying and I can help, please." For a long moment, those cosmic eyes studied her. Then impossibly, Emily felt something. A brush against her consciousness, like a whisper in a language older than words. Images flooded her mind. Vast armadas burning, worlds cracking apart. A species hunted to extinction for the power they possessed. And through it all, a desperate flight, a final egg, a last hope now fading. "Karith," the thought voice came weak and fractured. "I am Karith Emily," she replied, unsure if the creature could understand. "Let me help you, Karith, please." The Dragonling's resistance crumbled. Emily carefully lifted the wounded creature, cradling it against her chest. It was lighter than it should have been, as if its very substance was evaporating. She ran. Her family's homestead was 2 miles through the forest, but Emily covered the distance in record time, her lungs burning, her arms never wavering. Her father, a former combat medic turned xenobiology researcher, took one look at what she carried and immediately cleared the kitchen table. "Dad, he's dying," Emily gasped. Marcus Cross had seen many things in his years serving humanity's first defense forces, but even he paused at the sight of Karith. "Emily, do you have any idea what this is?" "Someone who needs help. That's all I need to know." Her father studied her for a moment, then nodded. "Get me the universal medical kit, the one with the quantum stabilizers." They worked through the night. Marcus used every tool humanity had acquired through its galactic partnerships, every bit of knowledge he'd accumulated. But it was Emily who stayed by Karith's side, her hand resting gently on his scales, whispering encouragement, sharing her warmth, her hope, her stubborn human refusal to accept defeat. As dawn broke, something impossible happened. The crystalline patterns on Karith's scales began to pulse with light, resonating with Emily's touch. The ancient Dragonling's wounds began to close, not just physically, but on some deeper quantum level. The bond that had formed between them, fragile and new, was becoming something more. "You saved me." Karith's thought voice was stronger now, filled with wonder. "A human, the species the Council calls the stubborn children. You risked yourself for me. You needed help," Emily said simply. "That's what we do." Karith's consciousness expanded outward, and Emily felt the full weight of his presence for the first time. He was old, older than human civilization, older than many of the Council races. His kind, the Dracorian sovereigns, had once been guardians of the galaxy, maintaining balance between the ancient powers. But their very essence made them targets. Their ability to bond with other beings, to amplify their potential 1,000-fold, had led to their extinction, all except Karith, who had fled in stasis, searching for a world remote enough, unremarkable enough, to hide in. He had found Earth. "You don't understand what you've done, young one." Karith's voice held both awe and trepidation. "The bond we've formed, it cannot be broken. Your potential, your species' potential, will be amplified through me, and mine through you. We are now linked until the stars themselves grow cold." Emily looked at the small, magnificent creature in her hands. She thought of the images he'd shown her, the wars, the hunts, the fear. She thought of humanity, still finding its place in a galaxy that saw them as upstarts, too emotional, too unpredictable, too human. Then she smiled. Good. Maybe it's time the galaxy learned what humans can really do when we're not alone. Karith's scales shimmered with something that might have been draconic laughter. Indeed. The council hunted my kind because they feared what we could become with the right partner. But they never encountered a species quite like yours. Stubborn? Emily offered. Legendary, Karith corrected. In the weeks that followed, rumors began to spread across the Galactic Council. Whispers of a human girl and an impossible companion, of a bond that shouldn't exist. Some dismissed it as fantasy. Others remembered the old stories and felt a chill of recognition. But Emily and Karith paid little attention to the politics of distant worlds. They were too busy learning from each other. Human compassion meeting ancient wisdom, stubborn determination amplified by cosmic power. Emily found she could sense things now, see patterns in space-time itself. Karith discovered that human creativity and adaptability could reshape even his oldest knowledge into something new. The galaxy would soon learn what humanity had always known. That sometimes, the most legendary stories begin with a single act of kindness, a refusal to look away from suffering, and the courage to extend a hand to the unknown. And for Emily Cross and Karith, last of the Dracorian sovereigns, this was only the beginning.